Hey Don, how was your day, man?
Sleepy.
Sleepy.
At my age, I sleep all day. Look, I was shaving last night. It grew back in my sleep.
I know. Isn't it amazing how that happens?
Yeah, you got one too.
Yeah, I'm growing the shadow here.
Yeah, the goatee.
Okay, we want to keep it from doing that. Um, so we'll start off here by telling everybody when I met you. I met you like the end of 81, beginning of 82. Do you remember which one it was?
It was 81, and I just come back from Germany making Breaking the Chains at Dirk's studio in Cologne, outside of Cologne, Stonewall. After I was singing in the background.
And weren't you with...
and you were right when you were on the office on the left, and you had a girl you shared it with, a black girl, I think.
Yeah, Ornetta Barber.
Ornetta Barber.
And she passed. Yeah, I mean, she and I were back to back in a closet.
It was small.
Yeah.
She passed?
Yeah, she passed. Can you believe that? She was sad. Young. Yeah. She did. She got cancer, and, you know, it's
we're all
sad.
Have our time. But I remember you in that little room, you guys are piled, and you had records piled everywhere.
I know.
You're a record freak.
Vinyl was everywhere.
Yes, it was.
Do you remember coming to my house in Hollywood and all those albums up on the wall, like
it was
on
crazy.
Those big shelves in that high room and all that?
Tons of them.
Yeah. So
I gave away over 4,000 vinyl records when Ken Sassano was A&R at Columbia, and he passed away, and his whole apartment was floor to ceiling, and everybody goes, what are we supposed to do with this? You know, CDs had come, was streaming. So I took and went through them, and then I gave them.
Did you pull any out? Which ones did you pull out to
I don't remember old stuff. The Hollies. I found a 45 single, my first record I ever bought, which was Incense and Peppermints by
I remember that.
Strawberry Alarm
Clock. Ed King, who later wrote Sweet Home Alabama with Ronnie Van Zant. Ed King left the Strawberry Alarm Clock and joined Leonard Skinner.
That's right.
And how did Ronnie Van Zant and Ed King meet? Get this. Skinner opened for the Strawberry Alarm Clock in California.
Wow. Talk about a radical change from psychedelia, incense, peppermints, and then all of a sudden he's in Skinner, which is Southern rock.
Yeah, so guys, Sweet Home Alabama and Incense and Peppermints were written by the same guy. Yeah, and Jim Zumwalt, the lawyer that we both know, he is working on a deal to help Ed King's widow sell his copyrights for a big sum of money, his catalog. Yeah, so there you go.
I'm getting ready to sell mine too.
You're gonna what about your masters? Did you get your masters back?
I don't think. I think I sold them.
Okay, yeah, because they're on BMG now. They're not on Elektra anymore.
No, then they went to Rhino.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, I mean, it's so convoluted because Geffen kind of was shocked everybody when he didn't stay in the Warner family.
Yeah.
And went to sold to Universal.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, what?
It was brutal. And, you know, once he sold it to Universal, I had to get out, man. Like, it was not the same company. And that's why I took the big bucks from Richard Branson and Charles Koppelman to start the Enclave in New York City.
The Enclave, yeah. And I said, now what am I going to do? But I remember Clowder said, don't worry, I'm going to Columbia. I'll get you a deal.
Yeah. And he did. And I wasn't up and running yet. But
no, you weren't up and running. He gave me the deal. We did Dysfunctional, which was one of my favorite records. So it's been weird. I've been on a lot of records, you know, CMC, and then they went under. But the record business, as you know, from our time, is dead.
Yeah, it's not what we grew up on. It's like, you know, in the 80s and 90s and even into the 2000s, there was a real music biz, rock records, and it's just totally like, I don't know what happened. Like, there's no rock anymore, really.
No, look at the Grammys.
It's like, look at the Grammys.
There's nothing. It was just hip-hop.
Although Turnstile's pretty cool, and they won 2 of the Grammys. You know, Turnstile.
Right. Yeah, they're good.
You know, they were pretty good. It's a Baltimore band, and they won like Best New Artist or Rock Artist or something, and Best Alternative is like Hard Rock and Alternative from the same band.
But what you know, I remember we'd go to Lecter and I'd come out in Sunset Boulevard and they had the Mondays was kind of like burn it down day. Everybody was on the phone trying to get us our song added to the radio. And I had, what's her name? I dated her for a while. She was an A&R and she tried, not A&R, promotion. She got us on American Bandstand right before it went off the air. I always wanted to be as a child on American Bandstand. I saw everybody American Bandstand with the club.
Yeah, we both watched that. Yeah,
it was the only you could watch to see the band.
And then remember that show, The Midnight Special, and then there was Don Kirshner's rock concert.
Yeah,
like there was so many places to see rock music on TV and radio, and then all of a sudden it was all about the MTV video, right?
That just, you know, we thought it was a good thing, MTV, but in the end it crushed us. Everybody, because you didn't have to go to concerts. You get to see our latest video. And if you didn't have a video on MTV, you didn't get a lot of airplay. It was very strange. And then you had to pay all the...
Yeah. Well, Sunriser, we're glad you're here with us too, man. Brian Williams Music says hello. Let's see, what else do we got here? You saw Dokken in San Bernardino in '87. Those were the early days, man.
Wow, that is the early days. Well, no, '87 was Monsters of Rock days.
Yeah, '88. In fact, I got a question from someone, and they asked me, what are your favorite memories from that '88 Monsters of Rock tour with Van Halen? Like, do you have any specific things that happened on that tour that were awesome?
Well, a strange thing about it, we expected, because it was pretty Sodom and Gomorrah in the '80s, you know, with the girls and all that, and the cooks, and thank God I didn't get into that stuff. But I thought between Aerosmith, Scorpions, Van Halen, Kingdom Come, Metallica, and us, it was going to be like this crazy party going on backstage. And by the time I got on Monsters, everybody got married. They had kids. I had a kid, Tyler, and it was just mellow. And there's so many people. We had like 14 buses, and everybody was just cooking and barbecuing back then. I was expecting to be mini skirts and low cut. This thing I remember about Monsters is when, you know, we got 100,000 people, and it's 110 in Dallas, and the stage had no monitors. They didn't want monitors. So they had this open grid.
So you had to do all in-ears with no monitors?
The monitors were under the stage, going up through a grid. So they came out, you just couldn't see them, which was pretty smart. And I looked down, and all of a sudden there's all these girls, and they're like, they passed out and stuff, and they're dragging them over because they're dying of heat frustration. And I was I'm looking down, and I go, what the hell's going on? It looked like it was a triage under the stage.
That's cool. Brian Williams is telling us that he's from Muscle Shoals, and that's where they did the first demos of Sweet Home Alabama. That's cool.
Wow.
Friday is going well. Chaos. Don is the man. You saw Dokken in Richmond, Virginia in '87, opening for Aerosmith. Do you remember that tour?
Oh, yeah. That was, wow. Yeah. I named my son Tyler because he was born on the Aerosmith tour, and that's why I named my son Tyler after Steven Tyler.
That's pretty cool. Now, let me tell you something. Dokken's son Tyler, next time you're on United, he could be your pilot if you're on, what, the 777, that giant plane?
777. He's going to China, Bangkok. He finally got cleared by the feds. He could go to China. And it took like a long... They asked him, what's the first school you went to? He's 30.
How do you remember the kindergarten, right?
They wanted to know where he lived, what schools, what town. I go, what does this have to do with flying the plane? But that's how deep they go.
That's crazy, man. That is just totally crazy.
They vetted him, the CIA, the FBI, make sure he's not a terrorist. And then they're like, who's your dad? He said, I was like, you know.
He hedged for a minute. He didn't want to he didn't want him to know he's the son of a rock star.
Rock star. He goes,
that's funny.
Chances. He's loving it, though. That's a big plane. But, you know, I'm happy for me, for my son and my daughter. It's like, wow, they're just, I got lucky. A lot of people in this business, the kids went down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
A lot of them, I think, because we were on the road, and the road managers and the crew all had kids and family. They weren't home taking care of their family.
No.
And they're on the road for a year, and the kids could go sideways real quick.
Heck, when Claire, my daughter, was 4, she was doing Matt Sorum's sound check on the Guns N' Roses Metallica stadium tour.
Claire was doing that? Wow.
Yeah, it's not normal. Florida Dad, you saw, I guess you were here at the Golden Nugget a year ago.
Yes.
Or a year and a few months,
Yes, I was.
Yeah, so it's a good venue. All right.
Fourth time in the last...
It's your 4th time at the Golden Nugget?
Yeah, in the last year and a half.
Is this a fun place to play?
Well, because we always sell it out, so it's easy money. They come and see us play, then they kick them out and go back to slots. And they pay good money, and it's great. You know, we'd like to do a residency at some point. But, the Golden Nugget treats us really well.
That's good to hear, you know.
It's a good theater. This is this theater that was built for Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., and we go downstairs stairs in a minute. It always trips me out because our dressing room was Frank Sinatra's.
Wow.
And it's exactly how he left it.
That is nuts.
It's got a...
Have they got the Sinatra Jack Daniels in there for you?
Maybe. He has a bar. There's a bar in his dressing room, and the couch is like this one, but it's yellow velvet. A certain color.
Oh man, that's weird. That's weird.
Yellow. And I went, and all around the dressing room, there's probably 50 pictures of women, and I'm thinking it's all the women he slept with. And
well, you have to show me that when we get down there.
All the old days of these from the '60s, and I was like, "Who is that? Who is that? Who's that?" And I recognized him, but I couldn't put. You know, it's the '60s, man.
Yeah,